Presley Gerber has two models as parents. Randy Gerber, his model dad, is now a tequila mogul. His mom, Cindy Crawford, is one of the most famous supermodels of all time.As. Their oldest son, Gerber, was always ready to follow in the path of his famous parents. Crawford's famous Pepsi ad from 1992 was made over for him to act in 2018. Gerber first walked the runway for the high-end fashion brand Moschino in 2016, when he was only 16 years old. He looks a lot like his mother. He has been a model for Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and Dolce & Gabbana since then, jobs that are very sought after. Not long ago, he was in a Celine ad. Even though Gerber looks like a beauty and became famous at a young age, it hasn't always been easy for him. Tabloids and his own messy social media use have written a lot about his life off the runway. He has been looked at more closely as he grows up, just like his younger sister Kaya Gerber. While she was a young model, Presley Gerber's life was full of glitz, glamour, and well-known tragedies. Usually, ringing in the new year with family and friends is a happy time, but for Presley Gerber, 2019 got off to a terrible start. Sources tell TMZ that a Beverly Hills police officer saw Gerber, who was 19 at the time, speeding in his Tesla early in the morning. When he was pulled over for careless driving, the police gave him a field sobriety test because they could smell alcohol on him. Gerber failed, was given a DUI charge, and was freed without bail. Due to the importance of the charge, the young model would have to pay a fine and have her license taken away for a year. His lawyer said in a statement, Presley Gerber takes this very seriously and is doing what needs to be done to address the allegations. He also said that this was the first time his young client had ever been in trouble with the law. In July of that year, Gerber pleaded not guilty to the minor charge of driving while having a blood alcohol level of 0.08%. He was given 3 years of probation. The model had to go through a DUI program and do community work for 2 days. In 2020, Page 6 saw his girlfriend Cameron Rorison drop him off at a drug testing center to finish the DUI program. When Presley Gerber first started modeling, he didn't have many tattoos and his face looked a lot like that of his famous mother. The young model had bright tattoos all over his arms, chest, and neck by 2020. It's not cool for models to have big tattoos, but this guy had an incredibly shocking one that made social media go crazy and his parents very upset. The man, who was 19 at the time, got a tattoo on his right cheek that said "misunderstood" in 2020. On his Instagram, many of his fans weren't too happy about it and said they were worried that it would ruin his life and job. Gerber finally talked about the negative comments on Instagram Live. If I thought it would hurt my face or wasn't interested, I wouldn't have done it. That seems pretty clear to me, he said. So can you just move past that? Later, he told her straight out why the tattoo was there. It says "misunderstood" because that's how I felt my whole life. Gerber took a lot of time to answer fan questions and respond to many of the mean comments. He said he wasn't using drugs, and he even said his mom, Cindy Crawford, liked the tattoo. My mom likes it, she supports it, and thinks it's good. He said, I don't know, it's my ST, it's my face. People says Gerber had the tattoo taken off the next year, even though he told anyone who didn't like it to come tell him in person. Presley Gerber's name was in the news a lot in 2020, but not for his day job. People only talked about his DUI, tattoos, and weird things he did on social media. He grew up in a famous family, so news were nothing new to him. But the scandals were something that no one else in his family had ever been known for. Randy Gerber is a well-known businessman, and Cindy Crawford is the same Cindy Crawford, who now has a daughter who is a beauty. Their reputation is already very good, so Presley's actions that made headlines stood out like a sore thumb. Reports say he was going against what was expected of him. As one source told Us Weekly, Presley is clearly going through a very rebellious phase right now. He wants to find his own way and become his own person, away from the influence of his family. His tattoo and new posts have also been getting him a lot of attention, even if it's not good. Because of his family's fame, Presley felt lost and wanted to make a name for himself. Presley feels like there's a lot of pressure on him because his parents and Kaya are so successful, and Kaya is thought of as a sweetheart, and Cindy and Randy have such respected reputations in everything they do, the person said. He wants to do his own thing and find his own place in the world. Every parent knows what it's like to have a son who is acting out. But for Cindy Crawford and Randy Gerber, it broke their hearts to see their son's pranks in public. Although Crawford and her husband Randy didn't say anything, they hoped that Presley Gerber's tattoo that said "misunderstood" was just a phase. But Gerber's strange behavior on social media kept going on. Innocent little me before all the horrible tattoos. Why all know nothing, he wrote under a video of himself at a gun range. The model was even taken to the hospital after an accident on her mountain bike, according to Daily Mail. Went mountain biking today. And to the hospital, he wrote next to a picture of himself with cuts on his arms. Sources say Gerber's parents were worried about the scandal, but they didn't say anything about it in public. I know it's hard for them to see, and it's scary for them. A source told E! News they know these statements are some kind of cry for help or attention. But Presley is an adult and is finding his place. There are reports that Gerber's parents were not happy about his behavior, but they stayed close to him and hoped he would get real help for his mental health. He has gone off the beaten path. He has been to treatment before, but they want something more serious, the source said. They want to make sure he's in a good mental state and are closely watching him. In October 2022, Presley Gerber hinted that he and model Lexi Woods were dating more seriously. Their romance became public on Instagram when Gerber said that he thought she had proposed. They had been dating for less than a year at that point. The model wrote under a bunch of pictures of the two of them. "Guys, I did it." One picture showed them kissing on the beach. Another showed them making the heart shape with their hands, and the last one showed Gerber grabbing her behind. Woods shared the post again on her Instagram stories, this time adding a heart, an infinity sign, and a lock and key. Fans quickly became interested in the sneaky wedding message and asked Gerber in the comments section if the two were married. Even though congratulations were pouring in, the couple suddenly broke up less than a month later. E! News says they broke up in December and removed all of their Instagram posts together. What made the breakup even stranger was that people close to the couple said they didn't see a future together. They knew right away that it wasn't going to be a long-term relationship, a source said. Even though Woods was seen with Gerber a week before the split, a friend of hers said she was ready to move on and focus on herself, her modeling, podcast, and partnerships. That hurts. As Presley Gerber got older and wiser, in a rare interview on the Studio 22 show, he talked about his mistakes and his mental health problems in a very open way. So for me, and having struggled with mental health, depression, and some other things that come along with that, I think that whether I help one person or 100 people get out of that place that I was in at one point in my life, that's all I need to do, he said. People didn't like Gerber's past actions, but he thinks they taught him lessons that he can possibly share with others. "I've seen a lot of stuff and I've learned a lot of things," he said. "What I hope I can do is have made the mistakes for other people, so they don't have to make the same mistakes that I made." While she wasn't modeling, Gerber started a project to bring attention to mental health issues and help others find good ways to deal with them. He started a series on his Instagram page called Mental Health Mondays to talk about things you can do to improve your mental health. The model said that he hopes the weekly shows make people want to get help. They'll want to do it the hard way if they're like me, but if they are willing to listen, I could save them a lot of trouble and stress. Mother and father of Presley Gerber both did very well as models. Gerber got his start as a model and quickly became popular. He walked the runways for Balmain and Dolce & Gabbana. Gerber won the Emerging Model of the Year award when he was only 17. He looks like he will be the next big thing in the business. Even with all of these wins, Gerber didn't seem very interested in modeling. Fans asked the model in a 2020 Instagram Live if he planned to do parades. "I hope not a huge fan, but I do it when I can," he said. In an interview with the Studio 22 show in 2023, Gerber talked more about what he didn't like about modeling and even talked about why he took a break. "Around 2019, I started slowing down. My downtime started to take a toll on me," he said. Gerber said that the industry's plan was all over the place, which caused a lot of instability. With modeling, you could be working January through February, and then you have no idea when you're going to get paid for that. You have no idea when the next job is coming, he said. He went on to say that he and his friends saw acting as a way to get started with things they were really interested in. As for Gerber, he planned to put his passive income into his own business. He said he was going to get his real estate license, which could mean a change in careers. For a few years, Presley Gerber was the subject of too much public attention. She knows what it's like to be hated. During the time when he had the misunderstood face tattoo, Gerber often went on Instagram Live to talk to his haters directly, even telling them to come say it to his face. By 2023, Gerber had grown up and thought about the hate he got on social media. This time, he talked about how it affected his mental health. Gerber gave his Instagram fans tips on how to handle the chaos of social media in episode 2 of his Mental Health Mondays series. "I have let a single comment ruin my day, and I've learned how to not let that energy that those ... keyboard warriors affect me anymore," Gerber said. "It's up to you to be able to block that energy, to not be able to receive it." In jest, Gerber said that he had been nailed with negative comments and suggested that people take a break from social media. He told his fans if social media gets too much, there's no shame in taking a break at any time. In addition, Gerber told his fans to start healthier habits and to reach out to friends if the hate on social media ever gets too much for them. "I got a lot more to learn, as we all do, and we're all on this journey together," he told us. In August 2024, Presley Gerber shared shocking details about his personal problems on his Instagram stories. In a message to his friends, Gerber told them the truth about his drug problems and said he was getting better. "I'm dealing with a current, very high opioid addiction, and I've been on and off of them for years now," he said. "I feel like everyone pretty much knows that, and if you don't, now you do." Gerber then told his fans that he was getting ready to get ibogaine treatment, which is a psychedelic drug used to help addiction and PTSD. "As I get closer to the date of the detox, I'm getting scared," he said. "Obviously, it's a scary thing. Getting clean is a scary thing. That's why so many people struggle with it." Gerber said he was being honest about his addiction and going to treatment to hold himself responsible. He also offered to answer any questions people had about giving it a try. Even though the subject was important and Gerber was nervous about the treatment, he sounded refreshed and ready to get clean. "It's time for me to do it and stick to it," he stated. After that, he said that he would be writing down the steps for himself and his following. This honest moment seemed like a full turn for a boy who had said before that he felt misunderstood. "Hopefully everyone now understands where I'm at," said he.